Welcome back, my pupils. This is Gene coming to you with Reloading from the Hot Pot. How are you today? Me, I'm doing great. Only one more Monday of the week to go. One more. This video is for Mario Mosin. Check out Mario Mosin's channel. I'll leave a link in the description below to his channel. Check him out. He is one of our finest veterans that we have. And he's also a brother in the YouTube brotherhood that I'm a part of. So what you see in front of me is the Harbor Freight dual rock tumbler. Now, a lot of us reloaders use these for polishing brass because they come with two nice containers, but they're good if you want to polish a couple different loads, a couple different calibers of brass at one time in small batches. If you want to do a large one, it's a little cumbersome and a little awkward to take apart these because you've got to pry the lid off of them and then pry the inside piece out of it. If you've ever used one of these, they're convenient, but yet can also be a pain in the booty, you know? So I was researching a little bit and I ran across Treetop Flyer. Treetop Flyer has a video on this, and I'll leave a description in the link below to Treetop Flyers, because he gets all the credit for this as far as I've seen. So I took his idea and I made a very large brass polisher. I can run about between 450 and 500 rounds of 9mm brass through this. I just got done polishing some 38 special brass, and this is what it looks like. Nice, bright, shiny. Now I did use the brass juice. See that inside that? Can you see in there? That's no stainless steel pins. That's just the brass juice that I'm using. So I wanted to share that with you because I'm really impressed with the brass juice. But I just did this whole bag, plus some others on the side, in one round with this. And this is 200 rounds right here. So I did about 250 rounds at a time of 38 special brass. And it came out really clean. I let it roll for about 2 hours. But what I wanted to show is how I made this. So let me get this thing out of the way. Now, Mario, I took Treetop Flyer's advice and his items that he purchased for use in this, and I bought a piece of 4-inch PVC pipe. Now it comes in it's like 2 foot long, but I only needed 9 5/16 inch length. So I measured out with your basic tape measure. It's really your basic tape measure. It's crazy. I measured out 9 5/16 inch length, and I cut it on a chop saw so I could get it nice and even. Now the chop saw blade, I had to roll this around, but I set the gauge on the other side so it butted up against it, so I got a nice even cut. Then I purchased an end cap, which is in the exact same aisle. Then I used PVC glue on the outside, on the inside of this ridge here. Then I took PVC glue and I dropped down into the container and rolled it around to make sure I had a good seal. I let that sit for several days, let it dry and cure up just fine. Now I then purchased, excuse me, I had to step over to the side. I purchased some aluminum 1/2 inch angle. And it was a pretty big piece, but it was cheap. So I only needed 12 inches of it. So what I did is I cut it into 3-inch strips. Then I taped it around the outside of this container so it would be in adjacent spots to tumble the brass. I then purchased some small, I think they're number 24s, screws and nylocks and rubber washers. I drilled a hole, and I got the screws that can be countersunk. See there? I drilled the hole and then countersunk it so these fit down into it as to not be in the way or the obstruction of the rollers themselves on the Harbor Freight rock polisher, on the roller inside there, because only one is actually powered, the other one is free rolling. I then, like I said, I taped them around so they would be evenly spaced. I marked them on the outside, drilled the holes, countersunk them, put the screws in, then I put a rubber washer. If you can see down inside there, you can see that little black right there on that edge. That is a rubber washer that's in between the aluminum and the inside body of the tube. Now I tried Treetop Flyer's method of cutting 1/2-inch PVC and then gluing it. I tried hot glue, Gorilla Glue, I tried the PVC glue, and they all broke loose under the first tumbling. I mean, when I dumped it out, those came out with it. So I did not find that productive for me. Now maybe that's worked for some people, but not for me. So I come up with this little idea. Now what I did is I put them with the flat side so it tumbles the brass. Now I did file and sand the edges so there's no sharp edges on any of these aluminum 1/2-inch angle pieces. So when it tumbles this way and just rotates the brass around. And you've seen the 38 special brass that I just shown. That was tumbled in here for roughly around 2 hours using the brass juice formula. Love and brass juice. To cap it off, I used Treetop Flyer's recommendation for the expandable end cap for the inspection plug. I took the wing nut off of it and then found a 9/16" bolt nut bolt. This is the bolt, this is the nut. The nut that fits onto it. Because when you put it on the rock tumbler itself, it can't rub this side. If you've got that wing nut on there, it won't go anywhere. And then the little stoppers or spacers on here, you have to push them out so this doesn't hit against here and rub and restrict it. So it holds it over here on this side. I've had great luck with this. I have tumbled thousands of rounds with this so far, and I'm very happy with it. Very happy. So Mario, that's how I made it. That's what I did. Very simple, cost effective. I paid $17 and change for this whole setup. When Treetop Flyer did his, I think it was $14 and change, but that's been a few years ago. And with everything, you know, prices do go up. But for $17 and change, you could have a high volume, large capacity tumbling tube to polish your brass in. And like I said, 450 to 500 rounds of 9mm. I just did over 200 rounds of 38 special. I could have put more in it than I did, but I'm only doing a small batch. So Mario, that's how we did it. With the advice of another popular YouTuber on here, Treetop Flyer, and a little bit of thought from myself as far as how to keep the tumbling action and keep the brass circulating around to get it as clean as it can be. That's my idea on it. That's my take on it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, Mari, just for you. So, hi! Love you, bro, very much, man. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Anybody else that sees this, very simple, easy process to do. Any slight bit of mechanical skill or woodworking technology or craftsmanship can make this tumbler for your brass. And as you can see the marks on it, I have been putting it through its paces, and it's been working just fine. Well, that's all I got for you. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And always remember to keep blowing the smoke.